been living in Rouen, France for the past month. I'm going to share some of my experiences and list some of my expenses. Rouen is the perfect place in order to explore the rest of northern France. It's 2 hours out from Paris and 1 hour out from Normandy Beach. And the best part is it's a little big city. Easy enough to acclimate to and full of things to do. Welcome to Rouen. A city that's been in existence since before Jesus Christ, Rouen's had its fair share of historic moments. As a prominent port on the Seine River, it found success as a trade hub between what are now modern-day France and England. Due to being an access point into France, it was eventually taken over by the English in the 100 Years' War. The name Joan of Arc is associated with the town because of what happened to her here. After winning many battles, she was convicted of religious crimes and sent to the then English-controlled Rouen for punishment. Despite enduring torture and complying with religious officials, she was burned. Her martyrdom was not in vain, for the French people rose up stronger than before and took back their home. In modern times, the French people are stereotyped as being chauvinistic. You may experience being scoffed at for not speaking French when in situations where conversation is expected. I experienced this twice. The first time was at the co-work, which cost $195 for 1 month. It was early morning and no one else was around. 2 members came up to talk about a meeting room I was in. As they walked up to me, the first, knowing I didn't speak French, told the second, who scoffed and muttered, "Doesn't speak any French," all while shaking her head. The conversation then proceeded in English to a non-eventful close, because that's reality. But what were everyday interactions like? And how did this language barrier affect my time in Rouen? This right here is why we say thank you for our daily bread. Stop at any boulangerie. It's going to be like euro to 2 to 1. It'll be like 2. It'll be like 1 to 2 euros for these. And get the traditional. That's the mouthwatering one. Many will be taken aback by the idea, but every night I spent on average $3 to eat up baguettes and butter for dinner. And you know what? I'll do it again. It's not that French butter is better, but that each baguette is unique. And when combined with salted French butter, its uniqueness is more noticeable. The bakery staff never spoke English with me, but it wasn't required. Simple bonjour and un traditional had me on my way with a fresh loaf of bread. This is a frugal spender's dream because each dinner felt like a luxury. That's not to say I didn't splurge out on a meal. The best one I had was a 3-course meal for €25 and a picturesque view. I also tried escargot, which was tasty, but that might have been due to the butter, which I now have a craving for. Recommended to me by a local, you need to try a dame's cake. Eating one of these moist little cakes in the nearby courtyard makes you feel like you've stepped back in time, when sugar was a luxury and a moist dessert like this one would have been all the craze. Speaking of time, the role history plays in modern-day Rouen is astonishing. Along the main tourist road, buildings use medieval facades to envelop you in a unique atmosphere. The only thing I could compare it to is a themed area in Disney World. While there are no roller coasters, the museum will still take you for a ride. The star attraction is the Joan of Arc Museum. For approximately $11, it's a really good value. Be warned. After experiencing it, you'll wonder why all museums aren't like it. Then walking back out, you'll better understand why the town is the way it is. The amount of events held during the summer is mind-boggling. It seems there's always something going on. One afternoon, the town was filled with bands and musicians playing in the streets. The next, there was a tightrope walking across the river. Another weekend, there was a street fair. In Rouen, there's always something going on, and a lot of the time, it's free. If you want more, Paris is a simple bus ride away. And the most affordable way to get around? It's Flixbus. For approximately $30 a round trip, you can visit Paris in the morning and be back by nightfall. It was in Paris I spent the most money eating out, traveling, and experiencing museums. The reason it's better to live in Rouen is for the quality and cost of accommodation. At $570 for the month, it is a good deal, especially for France and Rouen. Rouen, great town. I had an excellent Airbnb. The bed was very comfortable, and thanks to the blackout shutters, I got some of the best sleep I've ever had. The only downside is that it's up a couple flight of stairs, but the silver lining is that helped keep the butter weight off. And there are no elevators. It was thanks to the host that my time in Rouen was as good as it was. Nathan not only welcomed me enthusiastically, he continued to tell me about events. One such activity he invited me to was to join him and his friends for a barbecue. This is where I learned what French people are actually like. A tourist may receive a scoff, find it rude, then never take the time to learn more. But when you're around long enough to see what comes after, you'll be pleasantly surprised at what you'll find. Despite only speaking English, everyone went out of their way to make me feel included. As someone that lived in Rouen for an entire month, and talked with plenty of people. I found the French to be outgoing, social, and kind. Visit France, explore Paris, and enjoy the culture. When you interact with someone, leave the stereotype behind. Not only will it hinder your experience, but it's going to cloud your judgment against what the French are really like.